Hi class, so I want to create a tutorial, the share node, the quick share node on the Punnett square and on the blood typing. So what we're going to discuss is the blood type of parents and the possible blood type of their offspring. So there are blood type A, blood type B, blood type AB, and blood type O. So we're going to designate blood type O as this letter I. So blood type A is a dominant, blood type B is a dominant, blood type AB is a dominant, but blood type O is recessive. So this is recessive, this is dominant, this is dominant, this is dominant. So in order for someone to have a blood type O, the person should have two recessive alleles. And the Punnett square is there to predict the offspring. So let's say father and the mother have a certain genotype. So what is the genotype? So the genotype is just a genetic makeup of who you are. And there's a phenotype. So the phenotype, it's about your traits, eye color, hair color, tone of your skin, and the blood type. So this blood type AB, ABO, this is a genotype. So these genes, they will code for a phenotype, for the offspring. So I want to see and predict the possible blood type of my offspring, of my child. So if I know that the father has A, my father blood type is actually AB. I know that. And it's dominant. My mother's blood type is B. She told me it's B. But I need another information here, because it cannot be just one B, one dominant. There should be one silent. So the dominant would be expressed. Silent will not be expressed. So I'm a child of my parents, and I know that my blood type is B. So this Punnett square will help us to find out the offspring. So I know that it's B. So, but there should be something else here. So and there's only two possible combinations. So it could be I or it could be B, right? So I'm going to use another color for, let's say if it's B here. So let's go back to I. So A and AB would be AB, B and B would be BB, A and I would be AI, and B and I would be BI. I'm a B type, that's my phenotype. The reason that I'm not O is just because this O is silent. It's not dominant, it's recessive, so it's not gonna be expressed. Only dominant alleles would be expressed. For me to be an O type, so A, B stays AB, right? This B. B and B would be BB. Then this B and this B would be BB, and this B and B would be BB. So I am 75% could be B type, and only 25% could be AB type. If we're gonna use this option, then I'm gonna be 25% AB, 25% BB, 25% A, or 25% B. So it's basically B, B here. And if we're going to use this one, also B, B. So I know my blood type, but I do not really know what's my recessive, right? What's my silent gene there? Because I will eventually pass this to my offspring. For someone, for a child to be an O, parents should have a silent meaning that it's not expressed. So let's say if the person's genotype is AA, it is homozygous, homo, the same. If the person is AI, it is heterozygous. If it's person BB, it is a homozygous, but these are all dominant because only A and B's would be expressed, or cannot be expressed unless there's II. So if this would be expressed, so then this recessive, because this is recessive and it can only be expressed, this is a homozygous recessive. So in this case, if it's AB, then it's BI, then it's AB, I'm sorry, AI, and now I and I. Only in this case, only 25% chance that the offspring would be a blood type O. And this would be homozygous recessive, not dominant. If someone would be B here, or B there, or A there, so that will not happen. So it looks like that both parents should have this silent, or that usually not expressed by itself. You need two of them. So any combination you put B or A doesn't matter. So when we use the Punnett square, we use genotype of parents. So the parent 1 is, let's say, me, father, and parent 2, mother, my wife, let's say. So I know that I'm a B type, but I do not know what's in there, right? What's my silent gene that not expressed, because I'm expressed as B. So this is the genotype. Genotype, that's the genes that will code for a particular phenotype. So this is the allele, and my wife, I know she's an O type. One of my children is also O. So for example, if I'm BB and she's II, BI, 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 BI. So I know let's say two of my children type B and one of my child type O. So if I would have BB, which is the homozygous dominant, it would not happen, because in combinations B with I, it would not happen. So then I should have this recessive gene. Only in this case, now BI, II, BI, II. Now 50% chance that one of my offspring will have the type O, and one of them have that type O, so it's kind of 50-50. As I also explained it in class, for example, if one of my child would be A, then it would not be my child. Because if one of my child is O, so if my child would be A, right, and I would not know my other allele, the variation of a gene, and this is the variations of genes, this is the genes, the genotype that will code for a particular blood type. So for my child to have an A, I should be AB. I know that my wife is definitely O, and when you O, you cannot have anything else. You have to be homozygous recessive, II. So let's say if the child is A, let's look at this AI, BI, AI, BI. So in this combination, yeah, the child could be A, right? The 50% chance of A and 50% chance of B. So only in this case, the child could be an A type. But I know that I'm a B type. If I'm B type, I cannot have A. Otherwise, I would be AB. So I could only have combination of B and B, or B and I, because one of the child is II. So here, we're reading this example, and Jane is A, and her husband is B. Jane is puzzled because their daughter is O type. So this is genotype and this is phenotype, right? O, and she's puzzled. The only case the daughter, the offspring, can be O, again, it should be I and I. Because if it would be one I, right? If it would be like that, B or AB, it's not gonna work. But we know that it's B and A. So they cannot be AB here and it cannot be AB here, because we know that A is dominant and B dominant. So then it should be I and should be I. Then AB, AI, BI, and then II. Another question. Jane and her husband are both type AB. AB, AB. Could they have a type O daughter? Could they have this phenotype? No way, right? Because there's no recessive allele, which is O. So another question. They're talking about the Egypt and they're talking about the mummies, right? So they found the mummies, and the mummies are so well preserved, the lab technicians are able to type their blood. So the both adults have type B. So this is the genotype, and the child would be phenotype, has A, 2 children. So child 1 has type A, and child 2 has type B. Which child is not the son of these people? So for that we have to do more of the Punnett squares. So let's work on it. So with BB, right, let's say it cannot be BA, right, because we know it's definitely BB, so it's dominant. So then all the possibilities, it could be like that. B, B. We don't really have to do anything here. We can pretty much say that if one has B, right, then most likely, well, definitely, so that's their child. Because let's see, like, right, combination B here or combination B here, obviously you will land in BB, right? It's going to be homozygous dominant. So, but like, what if it's like this? Still, it's going to be expressed as all of them B, right? Because B, 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 and it's BI, and it's still BI. It's still going to be expressed as dominant, because recessive would not be expressed. If it's going to be like that, right, like this, so it's going to be BB, BI, BI, and II. It's still their child, for example, it's possible, right? Have 75% chance, like that. So we can say that the child number 1 is not their child. There's no combinations to make that. So there's another question. So Jim is a son, right? Son, and that's the phenotype of the son. So the gene blood A, type A. Mother is type O. So if we know that mother is type O, it definitely should have 2 homozygous alleles. What is the blood type of Jim's father? So if Jim is A, someone should have A. And now I don't think it matters if it's AA or AI or AB, right? So let's try AB. AI, AI, BI, BI, AA. If it would be like that, right, it would be AI, II, AI, II. Again, 50% chance. So the father could be heterozygous, dominant for A, could be homozygous, dominant for A, or could also be AB, possible combinations. So the son has A. Jim has a sister who is blood type O. Jim's sister. We know that Jim is A. Sister is O. She must have that. What does this make their father's blood type? We just figured that the blood type of the father, of the Jim's father, could be A or AB, right? We know that the mother is type O. Mother and father. So for sister, because sister is O, recessive, then father should definitely have this allele. So the father is not AB, cannot be AA, because the offspring would never be O. So when these children will have their offsprings, then we're going to use their children's, and we're going to use their genetic makeup, and we're going to say that they have genotype, and they're passing their alleles, their genetic information to their children, and the children will have their phenotype.